Fusion 360. This is it, folks. This is my recommendation for CAD and CAM in the home shop. Let's do a quick tutorial. Welcome to another episode of NYC CNC. So here's our part. To make it easier, I've got a print here that I can reference, so we don't need to be hopping back and forth because this is not a SolidWorks tutorial. So we are going to 2D sketch a 2-point rectangle. That's not going to be in your menu here. Instead, you've got to go down to rectangle, and I liked this one, so I clicked that little up arrow here to add to toolbar because it's a feature I'm going to use a lot. I'm going to select this plane and auto adjust the view. Click once, move your mouse away, and then don't click again, but just type 1.5, tab to the next dimension, 12, and then enter on the keyboard. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead, now if you watch, if I move the mouse up, I can adjust where that box goes. I like it right here. Click once and that sets it. And now I'm going to use the mouse wheel, scroll out, push the mouse wheel down. I can adjust over, and if I hold down the shift key while I push the mouse wheel down, that'll let me rotate my view around. We want to modify this, so what we can do is do press pull. So click on that. Click on this face, and I'm just going to go ahead and type in 0.75, and I want it to go the other way. Perfect. Now we've got our bar of material. Let's create that pocket that we see right here. So I'm going to create a sketch 2D rectangle, and again it's going to be, just click anywhere. I'm going to type in the dimensions of that, which are 0.875. 0.875. Now where do we want that located? Well, I can do a smart dimension, and if we do this and that, we can then type in a placeholder for now. Now again, you probably didn't have smart dimension here, but if you click and, or sorry, sketch dimension, you would have the ability to move it up to the toolbar, which you should do because you're going to use that a lot. Now we can do some quick math and say, well, if it's a 1.5 minus 0.875 divided by 2 means 0.3125. So we can adjust that value to 0.3125. That will put it on center. I'll come back. If you're interested in this kind of tutorials, we're going to have a lot more complicated, or I shouldn't say complicated, but good tutorials on advanced modeling, parametric modeling, where you're doing more proper reference geometry and so forth. If you're interested, subscribe. We'll be back with more on Fusion 360. Okay, so we've got our basic shape made. We're going to do press pull, click that face, and go down to negative 0.65. And again, now we've got our shape. Let's fillet it. So modify, fillet, click, and like any good CAD software these days, you can select hidden edges like so, and we'll put 0.125. We'll do a center diameter circle on that face. And if I hover, I'll get that little triangle, which will say place center point, and that'll let me select that. But I really want this in the center, so let's go ahead and do one reference geometry line. So I'm going to click line, and I'll let it snap to the center, and I'm going to do the same over here. See how it snaps to that little triangle? Boom, boom. And now what I can do, hit escape key, I can select that and change it to construction. See that over here, construction. Now I've got a center point. And now I'll lock this in here, 0.875. Oops. So I goofed. My hole, I was actually wrong on my, I didn't have that dimension on the drawing. So this is actually 1.1, make sure I get this right. Oh no, sorry. This is 0.592. There we go. So this is actually 0.592. And again, we'll do modify push-pull. Now you can just do, if you don't know the exact distance, you can do -1, and just that'll sort of be the same as going all the way through. Make sense? We need 4 holes around it, so I will sketch another circle. Just going to sketch it just about anywhere, and that is a 0.0945 hole. Dimension that 0.1225. Again, these are coming from the SolidWorks part that I've got. The same thing, 0.1225. Now we know it's 0.63 over and down, so let's see. First we'll go ahead and modify that, press pull it all the way through, -1. Now let's see if we can figure out a pattern. So we'll do a rectangular pattern, and what we'll do is I'm going to hold down the shift key and the mouse, push down the mouse wheel so I can rotate. I'm going to select the inside face of that wall, and then for directions I'll select this, oops, wrong one. Directions, there we go. I had to click directions first, sorry. That and that, two selected, and we're going to do quantity 2, 0.63, and 2.63, and that looks good. You get it. Again, what I'm populating here is the quantity and the distance. I'm a huge fan of keyboard and mouse shortcuts. I'm still learning them in Fusion 360, so I don't want to go too fast for you guys, but I also like showing you how to move efficiently. I hate hour-long tutorials. They cover very little. Click OK. Now we've got our 4 holes for that bolt pattern. Let's keep rocking and rolling. We've got a hole right in the middle of this part. So let's do this. Let's do a sketch of a line on that face. We know we'll snap to on the halfway point. Again, it'll snap on the halfway point. Hit escape to get out of that line mode. Select that line normal or construction. Select that line construction. Now we'll sketch on that exact center point. It's a 0.5-inch hole, and modify that guy. Now you can do this. I don't love this, but you can actually use the mouse and hold and pull it up or down, and you'll notice when it's up, it's sort of that gray color. When you go down, it turns red. That symbolizes red is cutting into, gray or blue is adding to. So we go all the way through, click OK. I don't really love those mousy features. That's kind of pedestrian to me, but it is what it is. Now all we've got to do is add 2 more holes. Now I don't want to sketch these because they are chamfered holes. Let's do this the right way. So we'll go to Create Hole, select here, and what I learned actually when I was playing around with this is you're better off, oops, I got all goofed here. Okay. You're better off first creating a point pattern for where you want your holes to be. So I'm actually going to cancel that. And I am going to go back to Sketch, Point on this face. And I'll just throw two points down here. And we'll dimension those. So we know they're 0.5 down. So 0.5. Now I want the 2 to be horizontal. So I'll turn off the sketch dimension, escape, select the first point, hold down Control, select the second point, and then I'll do a constraint of horizontal, or I think it's combined because it knows you really only need one thing. So now, which is nice, is no matter what I do, those will stay the same. I don't know why I can't edit that right here. I'll come back. I know you can't edit it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so if we change it to 0.75, they'll both track down. Perfect. And we know the distance between them is 2.5. 2.5. Perfect. Now we can go create hole, and I'm going to do from sketch multiple holes. I'll select this guy, this guy. Now one thing I don't love yet is that Fusion 360 doesn't seem to have built-in libraries of common fasteners. I'll come back to this at the end of the video and talk about where I think Fusion 360 is good and bad things, but for now, not a big deal. We know that, actually let's take a look, I forget. The through holes here are 0.332 and 0.648. So we'll say it is a countersunk hole, 0.332, and, oh, sorry, depth is through all, so I'll put 1 inch. 0.332 diameter, countersink 0.648. 82 degree is common, click OK. Perfect. Now I forgot, we've got a countersink here, a flat countersink, and actually that hole is only 0.3125, so I goofed. So how do we fix that? Well, down here is the sort of the same as your what do you call it, the tree in SolidWorks where you can go back and edit. So let's see here. I think it's going to be this one. So right click and, oops, edit sketch. There we go. So this is actually going to be 0.3125, and then click stop sketch. And now what we need to do is add that countersink, which is 0.075 deep. So sketch on that plane. It'll locate that center fine 0.5 and modify push-pull. Click that little guy, negative 0.075. And that's it, folks. I think that's actually pretty easy. You tell me. Take a look at our part. Looks good. Oh, you know what? Let's model these side holes here. Okay, so sketch over here. Again, we'll just create 2 holes. They are 0.089. I should have done that. I should have done that when I created the holes a little bit faster. It's okay though. And we will select the dots and we'll create a horizontal, oops. There we go. And then we'll dimension them down, 0.25, and the distance between them as 0.75. Perfect. And then we will push pull, select both of them, and negative 0.5. And let's say we want to mirror those to the other side of the part. We've got to, you could create them by scratch, but I'd rather mirror them. So let's figure out if we can do this. We'll go to construct midplane. And then all we got to do is select that face. The scrolling is a little weird to me, I will admit. And then we get a plane right there through the middle. Now what we can do is, let's see here, create mirror, and the objects we want to mirror are that and that. We've got 2 objects selected. And then the mirror plane, we'll select that, click OK, and oops, go home. You can see we've got our holes on that side as well as on that side. I don't want to see the mirror plane, so if I expand the construction, I can right-click this and show hide. That'll hide it. So why do I like Fusion 360? It's simple. It's functionality and price. There's going to be a lot of debate and drama, I think, in terms of where things are today. But today isn't what matters when it comes to you evaluating CAD and CAM, because it's changing, and it's actually changing quite rapidly. I think, and this is just my opinion, that we're going to see in the future that gone are the days of expensive licenses for single user, restricted to a one computer type software. I myself, I paid $5,000 for SolidWorks, plus it's like $1,200 a year for the maintenance, which you basically have to do, or else you lose updated versions and you can't receive files from customers, yada, yada, yada. Fusion 360 is the cloud. Do I love the cloud? Not necessarily right now. What I do love are a few things. Saving files online, nice, but I also back up everything with SugarSync, which is like a Dropbox, so all my files remain both online, accessible, and backed up for me anyways, even with SolidWorks. What I like is it doesn't limit me to one computer. I actually travel a fair amount. So if I'm at home, if I'm at the shop, if I'm at in-laws, if I'm on the road, if I'm on my laptop, which happens to be an Apple Macintosh, Fusion 360 is Mac compatible. I like that. That is definitely worth something. Right now, with SolidWorks, I log in with Log Me In remotely, which works okay, but if you're on a slower internet connection, there's some latency. One of the downsides, which people are quick to point out, is what if you don't have an internet connection? My understanding is that Fusion 360 and Onshape will both try to accommodate offline modes, but don't right now. I'm not worried about that because it's not a practical question. The times that I'm without internet where I need to be doing hardcore modeling are few and far between. Really a plane is one that comes to mind. Just not something that's important to me. Maybe it's important to you, something you need to consider. But here's the thing. Fusion 360 is CAD with CAM at an affordable price, and it's pretty good CAD, really good CAM, and very affordable. Here's the web page with all the pricing information. They tried to simplify it, but then it looks like they are still making it complicated with what's education and free and home users versus 360 and 360 Ultimate. I thought they were doing a good job of this. I'm not sure they are. Here's the thing. right now I'm paying $300 a year, $300 every year for Fusion 360 something, and it's basically a very, very capable, 5-axis machining, or certainly 3-axis machining, which is more than you get with the HSM Express plugin for SolidWorks. And I mention that because Fusion 360 is Autodesk. Autodesk owns HSM Works, which is HSM Express. So in case that's all confusing to you, let me back up a second. Autodesk makes CAD like AutoCAD and Inventor. They also now own a CAM software that is called HSM Works, and it may go other names for other things. They are allowing SolidWorks users, who's a competitor of theirs, to use HSM Express for free in SolidWorks. That's really cool. I've actually done a few tutorials on that, and I like it. But it's limited to 2D or 2.5D machining. Fusion 360 is the full-blown HSM Works, which I think is, it's a 5-figure price tag, about $10,000 or something, for that with, say, Inventor or SolidWorks. So you're getting literally multi-thousand-dollar CAM in a $300 a year package. Now their full price or non-incentive price is $100 a month or $1,200 a year. That's still a good deal, a really good deal. And here's the other thing, and this is proof that this industry is rapidly changing. Autodesk is very aggressive. They are really trying to grow this market in their user base with Fusion 360, and you, right now, this is May of 2015, would be the beneficiary of that because they're trying to gain market share. Their competitor, in my opinion, is Onshape. Onshape is one of those awesome stories where you get a bunch of guys that started SolidWorks who are quote-unquote old in terms of venture with the world, and they pulled a bunch of money together, a lot of money together, and they've got their version of cloud-based CAD. I just got into the beta last week. I've been playing around with it. No comment yet. I'll do a video on it, but here's the thing. Right now, no CAM, and that just means it, for me, not interesting because most of what I do is CAM with some CAD. I'm a machinist. I get files in, I download files. Sometimes I create files, but CAM is huge. So that's what makes me interested in Fusion 360. The fact that Autodesk is such a substantial player in this industry and they're putting so much market effort and forces into this software means, who knows what will happen. But I will tell you, it's more than likely or not that this is going to become a major player, and we're still in the early stages. So yeah, there are shortcomings. I don't like the scrolling. I don't like the aesthetics of the GUI. I need to learn more keyboard shortcuts. Even HSM Works as a CAM has some not fully baked function and side aspects of it, but I'm not going to worry about that because it's improving, it's happening, it's changing. They're a real company. They're not a startup from nobody that may be bankrupt or gone or disappeared or moved on to something else in a year or two. This is a major player. So that's what it really comes down to, folks. I get a lot of questions from folks. How do I make parts? I've got a CNC machine, I'm going to build one, but CAD and CAM are a huge thing. I've spent a lot of time with tutorials in SpruitCam, which is affiliated with Tormach, and I like SpruitCam. It was great, but I hate to say it, this is a game changer. I think this is better CAD, or excuse me, SpruitCam isn't CAD at all. This is good CAD and great CAM. It's easier to learn. There's going to be a larger database of users. There's going to be more folks like me publishing YouTube tutorials on it. I think it's lowering the hurdle to learn this stuff as we've got more folks interested in making parts, and that's going to mean it's easier to find those tutorials and learn and really get to what we all want to do, which is make parts. So folks, I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Let's hop back in and take a quick look at the CAM, but if you're interested, please click subscribe. Stay tuned for more. I'm going to have more tutorials on Fusion 360, both the CAD and the CAM. Otherwise, take care. See you soon. A quick look at the CAM. We'll go in from Model. We'll choose CAM. And again, this is the same as HSM Works, and you'll see a lot more of our videos that cover that in SolidWorks, but it is the same, and here's what's cool. 2D adaptive clearing. It is exactly the same. Tool, I don't even have a tool library set up yet, but it found this on my local computer. Amazing. Select that one. Now, we're on the wrong plane here, so click OK. Nope, need to select geometry first. I'll choose this even though it's not going to like it. We'll fix it later. So I need to be up here, so we'll go to, see here, Setup, Edit, and we'll choose Orientation. We will choose Select Z-Plane, and x-axis, that's actually exactly what I want. That's perfect. Origin, we can set the, we should be able to set it as we see. There we go. That's exactly what I want. So this would be the top left of my part. Now, if we go back and edit this, we can change the tool we've got. We will change the pocket to be that. And we will say bottom height, we will do a selection of that. And we will say we want to do it in multiple depths of 0.2. Click OK, and we'll see what we get here. Like so. Folks, how awesome is that? We'll do a simulation. We'll show the stock. Hit play. We'll turn off the holder. We'll show the tool only. Oops. See, I don't love the jogging. Just a personal thing. And I don't love the graphics and the aesthetics in general, but look, that can get better. That's not what, that's important, but it's not, I'd rather have that be the shortcoming than have the CAD or the CAM itself be a big problem. So you guys get the idea. A lot more to come on the CAM society tutorials and even the modeling. But one thing I wanted to show you guys that I forgot, I haven't decided whether this is gimmicky or cool, but see this, the design tree down here, whatever they call it? If you go back, you can actually hit play and watch how the person modeled it. And again, is that useful? I don't know. It might be useful for me right now because I'm trying to train Jared on how to use the software, but overall, I'm not sure that's something that's horrendously important. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, folks. A lot more to come. Take care. See you soon.